Hello, everybody. We're back again with Sportstake, our 59th episode. We've been going for a while. We've been talking sports, and if it's sports going on in the world, we talking about it. And the biggest event in sports is about to happen, the Super Bowl. Hey, I'm surprised. Are y'all surprised who are in the Super Bowl? It's not Philadelphia. It's not Kansas City. It's not even Pittsburgh. Look at who's in the Super Bowl. But it's a blast from the past, New England. But they don't have Tom Brady. So what's going on? Hey, Pat, what you think about the Super Bowl?
It's good to see somebody different.
All right.
It's good to see people that didn't have a chance in hell starting at the beginning of the season to actually be there.
But I will say this.
According to the prosecutors.
I will say this. If the Texans had a better mindset and better prepared, they could have been right there. We could have saw it just like that, a few changes here and there, and they could have won that game. Anybody got a comment about that?
Yeah, I think this was their year to do it. I mean, our defense was playing lights out. We just needed a few changes on offense, and I think we should have been there because we should have beat New England.
I totally agree.
Yes.
And they have the capability. But C.J. Stroud has to get tougher. That's the bottom line. He has to be a tougher player. It looked like he got rattled, and that means he wasn't prepared. Phil, what you think about that?
You're right. That had a lot to do with it. And like Coach said, the defense was a Super Bowl type defense. And I will say this: they all played in the same weather, but it still affected us more so because not what we accomplished to. But we had turnovers too. We could have took advantage of some of them, but our offense definitely did not give us a chance to win the game. The defense did.
Very much so. Jeff, what changes do you think the Texans need to make?
Wow, they got to make a decision with C.J. Stroud. You have to understand, C.J. Stroud has one more year on his rookie deal, one more season. And then if they don't sign him to an extension this summer, then he's going to go into next season on the last year of that deal, then he'll become a free agent. So then you'll stand losing him as a free agent to any other team who's willing to meet his contract demands. So what Houston has to make a decision on this summer is, do you go ahead and sign him to the extension, giving him $60, $70 million a year over a 4 or 5 year deal? So say $300 million over 5 years. Do you give him that? Or do you go ahead and try to trade him this offseason and get as much as you can for him, and then go ahead and insert Davis Mills in as your starting quarterback, and maybe take a quarterback in the first round of the draft to come in and compete with Davis Mills? That's the question. Are you willing to give this guy $60 million a year?
That's this year's performance. Not after this year's performance, I wouldn't give it to him. Okay. I thought they should have taken him and gave him an opportunity to collect himself and then put him back in. Clearly he was having some issues. He was throwing the ball behind him. He was throwing the ball in the dirt. He missed a wide open tight end down the field by himself. Yeah. That boy catch that ball, he's still running, You can't do that and go to nobody's Super Bowl. You can't win Little League championship doing that.
Jeff, they don't have to pay him this year. They can play him this year and see if he does something. They can even play him his 5th year, and if he does do something, then they can franchise tag him if they want to. They own him. They can franchise that in 3 years. So.
But wouldn't his trick? Okay, so basically you're saying it should be better to wait till next summer. What I'm saying is that
make him earn.
Okay, go ahead, Pat. Finish your thought.
See, as Coach just said, C.J. Stroud has not proved to be worth $50 million or $60 million.
Right.
Okay.
He hasn't proved that. If I'm the Texans, I'm debating whether I give him 40.
Okay, but now if they go the route you just mentioned, Pat, and then they end up having to designate him as a franchise player, aren't they going to be giving him $60-70 million a year, at least for that one season anyway?
No. But if I make him a friend, if he shows me in the next 2 years, then I will give him his money. But if he doesn't show me in those 2 years, then I still have options.
There you go. That's true.
Okay.
This is the NFL. It means not for long if you don't do what you're supposed to do.
True. That's true too.
Hey, and I want to add, that's not just a bad game. That's historically bad. They haven't had a game worse than that in recorded history. You can't give him that money. If I had to gamble, I'd let him go and build a better team and go with a lesser quarterback. So he's absolutely not worth that money.
Tell us how you really feel, Ricky. Whoa. Like that.
I believe I would go with Pat's his approach, because he has shown promise. Look back at that Kansas City game. He outplayed Patrick Mahomes in that particular game. Now, is he not mature enough to handle that bright light of the playoff game? Maybe. But he could get, if he goes out and wants to redeem himself, he can come back and be that player that we thought he was going to be. So that's what I'm hoping. So I would go with Pat's approach. Give him some time, and let's work it out, because he still can be a franchise quarterback.
Agree with that. I agree with that. They really need to watch him this offseason to see what he's doing this offseason, see how focused he is on recreating himself, because those 2 playoff games back to back.
Thank you.
Wow, they were horrible.
Yeah,
It was horrible.
yeah, thank you. Both those games were horrible.
Right.
Too many turnovers. They won in spite of him.
Right. You can't turn the ball over time after time after time and expect to win in the playoffs. You can't win that way.
And
the NFL is all about consistency. You don't you don't pay him for playing one good game. He's got to be consistent.
Let's look at, if he had just changed what he had did, instead of trying to throw the ball, if he had scrambled and ran every one of those times, it might have changed everything. But I don't know why he didn't do that. He's athletic enough. He could have did that. You see Drake May, he did that, and you see where they are right now.
Well, our left tackle sucks too.
Yeah. Hey, Bill Belichick, a lifetime historic coach. They talking about not sending him to the Hall of Fame. Is it because he dated that 20-something-year-old girl in North Carolina? Is that why?
He's just not first ballot. That's all.
But still, how does he not get first ballot?
He should.
How does he not? How?
He should, but he's not. Can't go back and change it now.
Amen.
But how? How did that happen? It's politics? Politics?
Of course.
Is it the what they call it? The Spygate? What do they call it? The Spygate? Is that the cheating? The football?
And the deflate gate too. There was
the deflate gate? Yeah. Okay. So you think that's got something to do with this? Okay.
I tell you
to the writers, don't mean nothing to me.
I tell you one other thing I'd like to see about him. I'd like to know his record without Brady too.
Well, it's not good. That ain't hard to figure. It's not good.
Yeah, I mean, they say he has the most wins, most playoff wins, most Super Bowl. But if you look at any coach, look at Jordan's coach, who had Kobe and Shaq. Let's see it. Look at any of those guys without top-notch players. So I could see. Does he deserve it on paper? Absolutely.
So they just answered your own question. Who gets you to the Super Bowl, the players or the coach?
Yeah. Yeah, because he's mediocre right now. Absent Tom Brady, we're not talking about him.
No doubt.
He's not even a pro coach.
Great assistant coach with New York, too, before he came a head coach at all, though. And he had great teams in New York as defense with Lawrence Taylor and all those guys.
Talking about coaches, no black coaches have been hired as new coaches in the NFL. Is that going to change, or any going to get interviewed or hired?
But they got to get interviewed. They don't have to get hired. They got to interview some minorities. With the Rooney
I haven't heard a lot of them being interviewed.
Well, they have. You may not know about it, but the Rooney Rule states they have to interview minorities, and most of the time it's blacks. There's a lot of them been interviewed. I can run a list if I know you were going to ask that question. But they don't have to hire them, but they do have to interview them.
They've been interviewed.
Yeah.
Brian Flores been
That's
interviewed.
One.
The guy at Denver been interviewed.
Bass Johnson.
They hired Salah. Salah is black.
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Where's Salah been hired?
Tennessee.
Okay. Well,
all right.
They did have 10 vacancies. I think they're down to maybe only 3 now. And we'll see how it is a lot of
Antonio Pierce been interviewed too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the NFL is always interesting. Maybe expansion is coming soon. It's 32 teams, but maybe it'll go to 36. We'll see. It's going to be interesting to see. They're talking about going to London and some other international places. Yes, Mr. President.
Right. Real quick, guys, talking about the Super Bowl. All right. Of course, we enjoyed the conference championship games. Of course, you had the blizzard, New England versus Denver. And of course, it was a low-scoring game, 10-7. So what do you expect in a blizzard? But then, of course, that Seattle game versus Rams, that was a great game. I really enjoyed that game because that was an aerospace show with Matthew Stafford throwing for 374 yards and 3 touchdowns, and then the boy Sam Darnold throwing for 346 yards and 3 touchdowns, and neither one of them threw an interception. So both of those guys did an outstanding job in leading their team. But of course, only one team can win. The Rams win. So you got the Rams versus New England. So now in the Super Bowl, who you guys got? We're going to start with you, Carl. Who do you got in the Super Bowl? Seattle? Versus England. So you got Seattle. All right. What about you, Pat? Who you got, Pat?
I'm going with New England.
Okay, New England. Okay. What about you, Coach?
Seattle.
Okay. And Rick, who you got?
I like Seattle.
And then, of course, my boy, Phil. Who you got, Phil?
Seattle. And one other thing about the Hall of Fame, if Belichick don't go in, we have to look at Tom Brady a little different too, as well as Robert Kraft. They part of the organization. You can't blame it all on Belichick.
Hey.
Okay. So who you got? Who you going with?
Seattle.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to throw that in. I wanted to get everybody's picks before we moved off of football.
Well, basketball is really in its heyday time right now.
Call. Can we move basketball back one topic? Greg Kite gonna be signing in. Greg Kite gonna be signing in a minute now. Greg Kite in a minute. Let's wait for him for basketball. Let's move to something else, and then come back to basketball.
Well, I want to.
He could join in, couldn't he?
Hey. Tom Brady has a Super Bowl without Belichick.
Absolutely. Yeah. Duly noted. But he played for New England, and New England punished, not Tampa Bay.
And New England going to have a championship without both of them.
Maybe.
So
Belichick got a couple
showing them that he can win without Brady and without Belichick.
But Belichick won 2 Super Bowls before Brady was even in the league as a coach.
Point taken.
New York Giants. I mean, come on now. I'm not even a big Belichick fan. I just want to get a man.
He wasn't head coach though.
He was not. I said that defensive coordinator. But guess what? They get a ring too. They get credit too. How many defensive coordinators get promoted from defensive coordinator to head coach? He coached in Cleveland. He didn't do all that well. Matter of fact, he got traded to New England from New York. He didn't even coach a day for them. Signed the contract and was traded. So he has value, and he does deserve Hall of Fame. And I'm not a Patriot fan. I'm not a Belichick fan. I'm just putting out there what's the truth.
Well, let's talk about basketball now.
Okay, we're going to talk about basketball.
Hey, they still talking about the trades. What trades are going to happen? Trae Young has been traded. That's the only one that's out there. But everybody's still talking about Giannis. Will he get traded? Do the Rockets need to make a trade? One day they get blown out at home by San Antonio. Then the next day they come back and beat Atlanta on the road. So the Rockets are like an enigma. You don't know what they're going to do. And they're trying to depend too much on Kevin Durant. And he's trying to handle the ball and stuff out there. In my opinion, he's a stand-up shooter that you throw him the ball, give him some cuts, give him some screens, then he can score. But as far as him trying to create his own shot, depending on that, that's why they're in the situation that they're in. What's your comment on that, Jeff?
Okay, I want to introduce our last panelist who just checked in. Ernest is still trying to get on. He's having problems with Zoom. But Greg Kite just joined us. Hello, Greg Kite, two-time NBA world champion with the Boston Celtics. Greg Kite, how you doing, sir?
Hello, fellas.
What's
Great
up,
to
Greg?
be with you here today. Always excited to be with some good friends and folks in Houston, in my hometown of Houston, Texas.
That's right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, real quick, Carl, just real quick. Coach.Bingham.
Yeah.
Do you remember this guy, Greg Kite, when we played against Persian back in '76?
Yes.
And I was expecting us to advance to the next round, and then Greg Kite came out with his team 7 feet at age 14. And how crestfallen we all were to see this 7-foot giant playing with these kids. Did you see? What were your thoughts when Greg came out there with his team?
Oh crap!
My goodness, I'm like, Greg, how we gonna beat Greg? How we gonna beat Greg Greg? How tall were you at 14? Make sure I got that right. You say what were you?
It kind of depended on what month. I was growing a lot then.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
by ninth grade, I was 6'10" by at least by the end of ninth grade.
Great, 6'10". Unbelievable.
Literally in like 6th, 7th, 8th grade, it was like, how tall were you? It was what month? I was growing,
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Or so, yeah.
Well, welcome, Greg. Welcome, Greg. Okay, Carl, you can go ahead. Go ahead, Carl.
Well, I want to just go back into what I'm talking about.
Okay, go ahead.
Greg, I like your opinion. You see what the Rockets are dealing with. What is your assessment, and why is it going not so well?
Well, I think they're in the mix of things, and nobody, even the Thunder have kind of come back to the pack more than people expected. So, I mean, the Rockets are only like, 6 games even behind the Thunder, and they're right there with Nuggets and Spurs. Jokic came back tonight, so the Nuggets will pick it up a little bit. But I wouldn't say that it's going wrong. I mean, it's just kind of like, but I still like it. With Durant, I hope. I mean, obviously one of the great all-time players, still can score like the Dickens, and he's got some good athleticism around him. So they're going to be right in the mix.
I'm reminded, Greg, about the Rockets' second championship team. They had all kinds of problems during the year. Maxwell went into the stands. They tried, and about the time playoffs came, they meshed. But they were like a 6 seed. So just because they are doing bad now does not mean that they may not hit their stride. What you think about that, Pat?
You got to remember, this is Durant's first year there, so it takes time to mesh. And the Rockets, they'll be okay. The Rockets can defend, and you have to be able to defend. Shoot, your offense gonna come and go, but you can defend every night. So they'll be all right.
That's all about attitude. That's all about attitude. I agree with that.
The better defensive teams in the playoffs, and obviously being healthy, and then you get to the playoffs, matchups are such a big thing. Some teams match up better than others. Some teams are hard to prepare for just on a one-game basis, but in the playoffs, you got all that time between games to adjust and try to make moves and, with what you're doing. So.
Hey, Greg, real quick about the Rockets. Them losing Van Fleet before the season started, how big of a situation is that for them? Do you think that they could win with the current cast of players, or do you think they really have to address that point guard spot?
No, I think that was big. That doesn't help him for sure, because his veteran presence, his shooting, his that having him in that mix of all those young guys would have been a great thing. So, but on the other hand, sometimes it's an opportunity now for, somebody else to come in and get a little more experience and get that confidence. But it's hard to replace, again, it's hard to replace veteran players, and he's won championship in Toronto, and just it's hard to replace that. So it certainly hurt him when they lost him.
Okay.
Guys, who do y'all think gonna be the MVP? I know who my pick is. Phil, who do you think?
I'm gonna defer to Ricky Cooper over there before I give an answer. We forgot about Ricky there.
I'm fine.
I'm gonna be the MVP.
I'm still sitting on it, man. I'm still sitting on it. I'm looking for somebody new this year, though.
I'm gonna say Jaylen Brown. That's my pick. Because Jaylen Brown has got the Celtics up there at the top without Jason Tatum. Nobody picked him. He is fighting up there. He's battling Detroit, battling New York, and he's averaging almost 28, 29 points a game, and he's up there and doing all of that. And I got to give him credit.
Well, I got two choices, Carl, and I know they don't seem right, but Cade Cunningham and Tyrese Maxey.
Okay, those are good picks.
Those are two good picks.
All right, let me give you mine. I'm going to go with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's averaging 32 points and 6 assists a game, playing on the best team in the league with the best record. I also like Luka. Luka playing for the Lakers with as many games as LeBron James missed, and now you got Austin Reeves who's been out for a while, and the guy's averaging 34 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists. He's doing an outstanding job with the Lakers, considering that Dallas gave him up because they were saying that he was overweight, etc., that he wasn't dedicated to the game. Well, it looks like he's dedicated to the game now. So I'm going to go with one of those two guys. Now, if he wasn't for one of those two guys, I like Jokic, but Jokic has missed so many games. Jokic can't miss. He can only miss one other game. Or he's out of that. He has no chance because he missed too many games. So it's going to be hard for me to go with Jokic, but the guy's averaging 30 points, 12 rebounds, and 11 assists a game. When last time you've seen your center do that? Average 30 points, 12 rebounds, and 11 assists a game. Win. Can we win? I wait.
Other than Chamberlain was able to, but that's.
I want to talk about the All-Star setting and so forth, but first I want to talk to our moving All-Star, Brother Philip Green. Can you give us the rundown on the All-Star format of A Rocket?
All right, guys. As the sponsor of this fine show with this great panel, we have A Rocket Moving and Storage is proud to present this opportunity to tell you about the company, which is family-run, family-owned company since 1959, second generation now under DeAndre Sam after his parents founded the company, Arlene and Herbert Sam. Full-service commercial moving company in Houston, well-known, best little moving company in the country. We can do commercial, residential, and interstate. We have a 62,000 square foot warehouse. So give us a call, located in 3rd Ward, 713-748-6024. 3401 quarter 7207 is the new warehouse. Come by and get a tour. Ask for me. I'll show you around. Philip Green or DeAndre Sam, 713-748-6024. A Rocket Moving and Storage, where we make dreams come true when it comes to moving.
A Rocket Moving and Storage, I can attest. I use them, and they help me out greatly. They made my 20-year-old daughter be happy with her daddy. So I am greatly appreciative, because she could have been still mad at me, but she's still happy. So thank you very much, Brother Phil.
Yes, sir.
And I also,
hey guys, the All-Star game. Now the starters for the West are still Joker, Wembanyama, who I just saw play against the Rockets. He's just in the beginning stages, genesis of what he's going to be. Also, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Luka, and Steph Curry in the West. Anybody got a problem with the starters in the West?
What about your boy Edwards, Anthony Edwards? I thought he should have been a starter.
Not over those guys.
Wow, I'm looking. Jokic
Who you gonna take off?
Jokic, he missed 2 of the games. He missed 2 of the games. He missed a whole month of the season.
He's still eligible, as well as he's still Joker. So you don't take Joker off for anybody.
No, Anthony Ellis. Wow, that's a tough one. Anyway, okay, well he's chosen for as one of the reserves. Okay.
Name the other West reserves, Jeff.
Chet Holmgren. I love what OKC. I love the way they put that team together. They draft so well. Sam Presti, I'm telling you, that guy amazes me. That team, that organization has run very well. Jamal Murray also made it. Kevin Durant of Houston made it. Kawhi Leonard made it. The guy from Portland. I can't tell his name. I can't even tell.
Jimmy Azad.
Yeah, that's him. And then James Harden made it, but Alperen Sengun did not make it. He was a snub. Alperen Sengun was snub. You got a lot of snubs. You got a lot of snubs, man. The West snubs is Alperen Sengun, Jimmy Butler. Well, Jimmy Butler's been hurt. Devin Booker, Rudy Gobert, Julius Randle. Those are your Western. I don't
consider snubs. Those guys snubs. I think the ones that
Alperen Sengun is not a snub.
Yeah, he should have made it. But who you gonna take off? Jamal Murray, he earned it. He kept him afloat while Joker was out.
Yeah, he did.
Jimmy Aljon, whatever his name is at Portland, he has proved he's an all-star too. So I don't know who you're going to take off.
I would have had him over the guy from Portland. He's on a better team.
You seen the guy at Portland?
Yeah, I still would have had him better than he's better than I still have him over the guy from Portland.
No,
yes.
I wouldn't have.
I wouldn't have.
But you can make an argument. But in the East, it's Tyrese Maxey, Cade Cunningham, Jaylen Brown. Who are the other starters?
Giannis. And then you have Jaylen Brown. Again, you got Giannis, you got Cade Cunningham, Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Maxey, and Jaylen Brown are your starters.
And Cat didn't make it.
No, Cat was a snub. Cat got snubbed. Their reserves in the East is Donovan Mitchell, who's averaging 29 points a game. Jalen Johnson is really coming into his own for Atlanta. Scotty Barnes is an all-star. Jalen Duren, he's really coming along. I didn't know he was going to be that good coming out of college. Evan Mobley. You got Michael Porter. You got Pascal Siakam. And you have Derek White from Boston. Those are your Eastern Conference all-stars.
So are they going to do the international all-star kind of tournament? Does anybody know? Greg, do you know?
The all-star format.
The format this year, let's see. Yeah.
They talked about doing
they did talk about it.
Players against the American players. I haven't heard anything more about that.
Yeah, it says they're going to do a USA versus the world round robin with 2 U.S. teams and 1 international team competing in 4 12-minute games.
Is that starting this all-star? This all-star game?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm reading on here. Yeah, so the top 2 teams, I guess they'll each play once, and the top 2 teams will advance to a championship instead of doing East-West. So 2 U.S. teams, 1 international team. Regardless of what position they have, they're just going to draft the teams.
Okay. That'll be interesting if they do it, and if everybody actually plays to their ability, that'll be very, very interesting. But they did have to do something. You see, the NFL All-Stars have gone to what they call it, flag football.
Flag football contest, yeah.
The All-Star format is taking some hits across the board.
I used to love to watch the Pro Bowl.
It's not like it used to be.
No.
In all sports, it's nothing like it. I mean, the ideal of sports has really saturated, but you have things like Unrivaled and the WNBA, and the WNBA players are still saying, hey, give us more money or we don't want to play. What's going to happen with that? Greg, what do you think? Should they go ahead and strike for more money or accept what they get?
It sounds like, they're kind of in a stalemate. I don't think they made any progress, but as you get closer to the season, probably be more meetings, and then eventually, it would probably be a crusher to them to to strike and miss too much of the season. So maybe they get some concessions. I mean, that's all what the collective bargaining is about. They get some concessions, things improve a bit for them. Not where they want to be ultimately, but maybe they get a short agreement, 2-3 years, or an extension of the current agreement, and then kind of keep building on that momentum that they've had to bring in more revenue, because that's what it's all about. Plus, it's a little different when that negotiation. The league NBA owns I think 42% of it. The team owners own 42, and they brought in some private investors to pump in some money. Bought about 16% of it a few years ago. So I think they're just negotiating with the league and the owners. So but it's got to make sense. I understand, for the owners, a lot of times, the value of these franchises have gone up, but probably a lot of them don't, break even on a year-to-year basis, or they're just some of them are peeking in and making money. So, yeah, I'm sure they'll get more, but is it where they want to ultimately get to eventually? I don't know. And the unrivaled thing, the good thing about that's, for the players who are playing in that and they're making money, it's in their off season from the WNBA. So in the past, a lot of these WNBA top players, and there probably still are some, were going overseas, and they were making six figures, high six figures, some $1 million, playing in Russia or Europe or somewhere. But that's physically demanding because they were leaving, and so it's just I'm sure even with what they've got now, is a lot of them are staying here and not going overseas. It's a little bit better and still make decent money, so they're making progress, I think. But if they locked out and they were out for a long time, that'd be
and going overseas is dangerous too. Look at Brittany Griner's situation.
Yeah.
Certainly to Russia, but but
and that's going to get worse as the relations between the United States and these other countries.
Right.
It's going to get worse. That situation's going to get a lot worse. The problem is that the NBA has been funding that league, and they have been having losses every year. Every other year, they've been having losses every year, and so the NBA wants some of their money back, and so the women want a higher percentage of the basketball-related income, but the NBA is like, look, y'all owe us for the last 20-something years all these losses. So until we recoup some of these losses, y'all gonna have to take whatever the deal we putting on the table. And the women like, no, we're not taking that deal. So you had an impasse. The women says, we're not taking that deal. And so that's where we are. I would like to welcome Ernest Carswell. Ernest Carswell, can you hear us, sir?
Yes, I can hear you. Can y'all hear me?
Oh, man, we can hear you guys. Ernest has been trying to get on since we started. Bless his heart. Thank you, Ernest, for showing up, my brother.
Glad to be here.
All right, you missed some football and some basketball talk, but this is Ernest Carswell, folks, to play for Rawshaw Sterling High School here in Houston. Went on to play for Alabama State University. Went on to play. You played did you play also in the USFL, was it?
Played in the USFL at the Denver Gold.
Okay. And then, of course, you coached here locally for middle schools as well as for Wheatley. And now you're retired. Is that the case? You're retired now, right?
I'm sitting at the house chilling.
Okay, all right. It's time, because I know you got to be about the same age we are. All of us, pretty much all of us the same age. We all 63, 64. All right. Real quick, guys. I just want to ask Ernest a few questions, because we're going to do that at the top of the show. All right, Ernest. All right. Some of my friends, of course, went to Rawshaw Sterling. Okay? Because I lived in South Park 2 of my 3 years when I was at Yanks. Guys like Silas F. McMorris. You know Silas F. McMorris?
Yeah, I know Silas. Lord.
Okay, you know Silas. Well, he told me to tell you hello, man. Told me to tell you hello. Do you remember a guy named Daryl Tank Thomas?
Yeah, I know Tank.
Okay, he was my roommate my senior year at Prairie View. He was so we were all in the same frat. We had a non-Greek fraternity.
Tank was my cornerback. Tank was the cornerback behind me.
Okay. Oh, he played behind you?
Yeah, okay. I played linebacker. It was crazy. I played linebacker in high school and quarterback, and got to Alabama State and just played safety and corner.
Okay. All right. What about a guy by the name of Big John Washington? You play with him?
Yeah, John, Super Bowl man.
Yeah. He's on our site. He's on our site, but he's under a different name. But he's on our site. Yeah, he's very, very, very active on our site. What about one of my best friends? This guy used to be my best friend by the name of Carlton Harris. You remember that guy?
Yeah.
Okay. Real quick, give me your assessment of Carlton Harris' skills because he has family members on here listening.
Carlton was good, man. He was good.
All right. Because you had Johnny Thomas on here a few weeks ago, and I asked him the same question. Because, like I say, Carlton is rest in peace. He's been, and his family's on here. I just wanted them to hear what you had to say about Carlton. What's your skill set on Carlton?
Let me tell you about Carlton. When Carlton got there my senior year, and him, Anthony Benjamin, we called Dugout, was the quarterback. Well, I started, and then I told Coach, man, I'm not going to school to play no quarterback. Let me go back to linebacker. And that's what I wound up doing. But Carlton and Anthony were taking over. I couldn't do nothing. Man, look, they were good. They were good at that young age. I ain't had no problems with them taking over.
Okay. All right. All right. What would you say? Right. He was. He was a phenomenal athlete. What would you say when you was at Sterling? Just a few more questions. When you was at Sterling, who would you say was your toughest opponent as far as a high school? Who was your toughest opponent?
Man, you got to remember the district that we were in. Right. No weak ones. You had Yates, you had Wheatley, Jones, Cashmere. Man, and then we had like Davis and Millville and Austin.
Yeah.
We wound up playing like in the preseason. We was always Madison, Lee, and I can't remember the other school. Probably Bel Air or somebody. But that's who we wound up playing. But we wasn't taking but one team out. And if you lost one game, you was out. That was
you was out. I agree.
It ain't like now. These kids, you can go in with a 0-something record and still make the playoffs. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, it's all about what you do in the district.
Well, they want that money. That's what that is. It's all about money. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing else.
Okay, one other question. Then we can move on back to the agenda. You have sent players to the NFL as a coach. You have sent players to the NFL. Xavier Howard, cornerback, played for the Dolphins. William Jackson, who played for the Bengals.
Cincinnati Bengals.
Right. So, what was that like to be able to see these guys go to the next level and then even ultimately go to the NFL?
Let me explain something to you. When I got there, Wheatley had a great team. They had a good team when I got there. And it was just a point of me taking the defense and putting them in position to make plays. So those kids, they were good athletes. They didn't just play football, they did everything in Wheatley. And Xavier, he didn't play corner till like third down or fourth down. When we needed, he was a quarterback. He was a quarterback, but he wound up having more interceptions than the rest of everybody out there. He was big, he was fast, and he was strong. And Will was the same thing. Will wasn't as strong, but Will had good cover skills.
Okay.
And with them two on the end, man, all I did was just keep blitzing everybody because I wasn't worried about nobody catching the ball on them two.
Hey, Jeff, let me ask a question. If the background person can shut that down so we can hear better. If you got the background on, please shut that down so we can hear better. Ernest.
Is that you, Ernest, with the TV on, Ernest?
How you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, Ernest? Hey, what I want to ask, what is the difference between the student athletes today and our day? And I want to ask everybody that. What is the difference between the student athletes today and in our day?
Man, first of all, there's a big difference between the districts, put it that way. Because I was talking to somebody yesterday, and we were talking about the amount of kids on the HISD teams. Like we probably had 32 on varsity. But then we got to the playoffs, everybody had 100 kids over there, and we still had our 32. and which is a problem playoff wise because they coming in waves, and our kids playing both ways, special team. Come third quarter, we did. We did. A perfect example, we played Ridge Point, Zay's last year. Zay threw for 2 touchdowns. He ran for 2 touchdowns, and he picked one out for 80-some yards. And the last one, I said, Zay, I need you one more play. Zay went in there and took the ball from 102 yards all the way to the house. And that, man, I had never seen a kid do that much work on a football field in my life. I thought I was good. Those kids, man, that team there, that was a hell of a team. We just didn't have enough. If we had 15 linemen, like all these other schools, and some more backups, we'd have been hell. But it's just you don't have the kids.
Hey, I can add to that.
When you got to play quarterback and then go back and play corner, and smart coaches know, oh, he just played quarterback. He had corner, sit him deep.
I can add to that too. I've been doing a summer league for about 10 years, and my director came to me, and he asked me about an attendance policy, and I thought back. I said, man, I've been playing. We never had an attendance policy. We always wanted to play. That was foreign for me. You didn't have to, especially say Yates. You didn't have to attend because you didn't show up. You get replaced. When I was at the Y, we wanted to play. So that's, I don't even know if these kids today play outside. So they're nothing like we were.
No. I live in Cypress, and I promise you, I don't see kids outside playing. It's probably around the corner, 3 little boys, and they probably about 5 or 6. But other time, I just running up and down, playing football and back. No, I don't see it at all. I don't even know it was kids in the neighborhood till you get up in the morning and walk and you go to the bus stop. I'm like, damn, there's 50 kids here. Where are all the kids at? They just don't come out and play no more.
Hey,
they don't do nothing we used to do.
Like we were talking before the show, Philip and I was like, Philip, didn't you pitch in Little League? So Philip pitched, then he was the quarterback when we went to the Y. I didn't even know he played basketball. They're like, when Phil get good at basketball? Because I knew his base. So these kids now like us, we played everything.
You played with the season. Whatever the season was, that's what we played.
Yeah, so you asked that difference.
And you got good at everything. Wasn't just no one sport.
Or you go to right field.
Kids can't do what one thing now.
Hey, Greg, what do you see as the difference between today's student athletes and the time when you were a student athlete?
Well, like you said, in our generation, we went out and played. I mean, there wasn't all this video games, and we come inside when it was pouring down rain for an hour. That was about it. And
stayed out there and played, didn't it?
Even when you're younger, if you're not playing baseball, football, basketball, you're playing hide and go seek, climbing trees, down at the ditch hunting some frogs and minnows and things like that. And but it's interesting now. I like what I don't know if you've heard Kelvin Sampson talk about it now. In basketball, all these kids got trainers, or many of them do. Parents are spending a lot of money, and not as bad to work on skills. We worked on our skills. But you're not playing basketball one on none, So yeah, you need to spend some time on your shot, but you need to be able to have that other live stuff out there, whether it's 3-on-3, 2-on-2, 5-on-5, be able to react, or even some drill. So that's what, and then learning to play, the game, because it's basketball and even and football and other sports too. It's a little bit like, it's a little bit like playing music. You got to learn not that I'm a musician, but you got to learn the notes and you got to learn the chords. And then once you can learn to play together with those other musicians, you can make beautiful music. So it's not just, how do I play when I get the ball? So that's the thing that I see, missing a lot. But it's
all about chemistry, building chemistry.
Yeah, but these kids now the kids don't want competition. So they'll rather run around to keep them run up against somebody that's good. We used to run who the best receiver? Who the best DB? Let's go out here. Let's see who can do. These kids don't want to do that now. You see them in 7-on-7 drills, they hiding in the back. They don't want no parts of that.
Yeah. Do you all think the internet and them staying in the houses has changed everything? I mean,
the internet has.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things. Society has just changed. It's just changed. And I always talk about we had Little League growing up. You know, we had Southeast Little League. Ernest, you went out there Southeast Little League, didn't you?
Man, I stayed from 8th to the 9th grade. And they made me come out for the 9th grade team because I was going back out to Southeast.
All of us came up in Little League and so forth. They don't have that as much anymore. We are toward the end of our show, but I want to talk a little bit about high school basketball. Has anybody heard of the number one team in the state of Texas? I believe they are Seven Lakes.
Yeah, I saw that a few minutes ago. I don't believe that.
That's the Tascasila.
Where is Seven Lakes?
No, Seven Lakes. Ain't that out in Fort Bend somewhere?
No, that's in Katy.
Katy. Yeah. I don't think now because I'm still looking at Duncanville team. Duncanville got a good team.
Duncanville lost to Lancaster.
Oh, did they?
Well, Lancaster got a good team.
Yeah.
Well, Lancaster, Duncanville, and DeSoto, all of those always have Wilma Hutchins. They all have good teams out in that Dallas region.
They won't see each other in the playoffs. Because I think Lancaster is a small and Duncanville big.
All right, guys.
Okay,
Mr. President, what's your last word?
All right, let's talk some JY, baby. JY in the house. See, I got my goal on. JY, Greg Weiss, the head coach of Jack X basketball team. They won last night. They beat Kashmir 92-55, giving Greg Weiss his 1,000th career victory as a coach. So, with that being said, let's go to my boy Greg Kite. Greg Kite, you know Greg Weiss. Didn't you play with him at Madison High School?
Yeah, Greg was a senior when I was a sophomore. And, yeah, he was great high school player, had a great college career. And I've always followed Greg. He's done a great job coaching. So kudos to Greg for sticking around that long, but winning 1,000 games. He'll probably be I imagine he'll be inducted into the Texas High School Basketball Hall of Fame here eventually as a coach, because I'm sure, you know, the list of how many people won 1,000 games as high school coach is short, and the success he's had. You know, the championship teams he had at Yates, and then great character. You know, good character man. So I'm sure he's instilled a lot of and been a good example to a lot of young men that he's coached.
Okay. Well, congratulations, Mr. Coach Greg Weiss of Jack X. Outstanding. Pat.
Yes,
now, Pat Augbon used to coach for Jack X. He coached the women's team. Did an outstanding job coaching the women's team for several years. Pat, what is your opinion of Greg? Was Greg at JY coaching when you were there?
Yes, and Jeff, that man name is Wise. Ain't no Weiss.
Wise. Thank you for correcting Wise. Okay, all right, that's why I didn't know.
I mean, you know, people don't understand the time and effort that Greg puts into what he does, and he does a lot of that. I mean, people just come out used to see, they just running around doing anything. No, it was orchestrated, very much so, and he knew exactly. You know, he spent a lot of time watching film, and he can tell you they're gonna do this, so we're gonna do this. So he deserves it. He's a good guy.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, outstanding. Congratulations again to Coach Wise. All right, Carl, anything else?
All right, guys. Well, as you know, if it's sports, we here at Sunny Fireside, we gonna be talking about it. This right here is our 59th episode. A hallmark. Next episode will be number 60. And if it's sports, we're going to be talking about it. And we're going to always try to get on prominent, important people who are out there in sports to come on and talk to us. We look forward to our next show. And having our next guest, and keep checking us out all the time here on Sunny Fireside Sports. We thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time on Sunny Fireside Sports. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, man. Y'all take it easy.